Everybody, welcome to the Stiff Truth. This is Scott Casanova over here, and my good buddy with me, Bobby West. How we doing, Bob?
That's me.
Mm.
I'm doing great. I feel great. I feel better than POTUS, but too soon.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Friday morning, Saturday. No. You gave it a good 48 hours. I think that's good enough, man. Good for you.
Good. No, yeah. I feel great. The diet's going well. The exercise, routine is going well. Have a lot of energy. Things are going good. I'm trending in the right direction.
You are. And we were just talking about it before. We're down nearly a decade of pounds. We're going in the right trajectory, right? So that's got to feel good. It's a little more pep in your step, a little less weight to carry around.
And by decade, he means 10, because a decade ago, I was like Stone Temple Pilots, right? I was like half the man I used to be.
Right, there you go. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Ooh, wow. What
STP reference in the morning.
I know. I wasn't ready for that. When you said that you were like STP, I thought you were going to make another way too soon joke about Scott Weiland being dead or strung out or something like that. But you didn't. You just went with one of the songs, which is...
Could have went with like the oil products from NASCAR sponsorships.
You
never know.
You could have really thrown me for a loop there. It's early in the morning.
Look, STP, I'm good for your fuel injection. You're an idiot.
but holy balls, what a crazy week that we've had, my friend.
Well, how was your week? Was your week as crazy as the country's?
You know what? I was going to bring up, but it's quite inconsequential. I don't really want to be that selfish right now because I just had a run-of-the-mill regular week, worked my ass off, fucking chilled, and kind of watched the apocalypse unfold on the media outlets. I'm being a little dramatic here, but we're set up to talk about the debate. Obviously, that was probably one of the saddest moments that I've had in my adult life since I've been voting. So we will definitely get into that. And I really didn't think that things were going to progress much past the bottom of the barrel there as the debate did. And then, as everybody knows, the commander-in-chief and the first lady both are positive with coronavirus right now. And from what I understand, too, where is he at? Bethesda, medical center, or something like
Walter Reed.
Walter Reed in Bethesda, right?
It's a military hospital.
Yeah. So from what I understand, too, right now, and maybe like the next 24 hours, because I said yesterday, the next 48 hours are critical. So he could either come out of this on the other end and have a mild case and already be talking shit about the virus being a punk bitch, or we could have some bad news there.
I grabbed that virus by the pussy.
And it had a beefy one, let me tell you that right now. Goodness gracious, those lips. So yeah, we'll definitely get it. I do got to say one thing right out of the gate, though, and I think we talked about this earlier as this news came out about the president and the first lady. It's one thing, right, to dislike and detest somebody that's in politics, and you want to do everything legitimately to get him out of office. That I'm on board with 110%. That's why we have, that's part of democracy in general. But we already knew this was going to happen. The moment that it becomes, public that he's got coronavirus, so does the first lady. I just got to call it out. It's really despicable. It's really pathetic. And people are being a little bit subhuman, if you ask me, with the overwhelming joy that this man could possibly perish because of the coronavirus, just so they can get a one-up on what's going on in politics right now. Bob, what are your thoughts on that? Am I being overboard here?
I think we all know my enduring, undying love and affection for Donald Trump.
This is true. This is true.
But no, he is our president. You need to respect him and the office that he holds, at least a little bit, at least on a human level, and the office of the president of the United States. So no, I 100% agree. When I hear of anyone saying, I hope he dies and this and that, like that's some bullshit. Like, okay, you can disagree with someone's politics, but if you're at the point where you want to wish death on someone because they disagree with abortion, like, then fuck you. You need to like get a life and probably live somewhere else, because this is America and we have to learn to live in a melting pot of different ideologies, different theologies, different, socioeconomic statures, different political stances, and we have to do all that and find compromise and common ground. And that's what this country's been built on. That's how this country started, and that's how this country needs to move forward. So if you're really of that whole I wish death on the president, then you need to grow the fuck up, man up, be a better human. I don't know, go to church, find
Jesus,
Buddha.
wow, you're reaching right now.
Do whatever you need to do to be a better person, because obviously you didn't listen to our religion show.
Yeah, and shame on you.
To scare you with a pitchfork to be a good person. But yeah, I agree. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So no, we should all be hoping that he pulls through. Now, do we want him to like understand and actually go through the sickness like everyone else and not get the hidden, stage 2 cure that isn't going to be available for everyone for 6 months? Yeah, a lot of people do want him to like understand that this is a real fucking hurtful virus and that it has a hard time, and if you're don't have the best healthcare in the world, like, you're fucked. And maybe that will give him a lot better perspective than simply trying to shove it aside, saying it's going to disappear, saying that we're turning the corner when our numbers are going up, not down. It's, so maybe there's a little bit of perspective that'll be gained after this from him, but let's not be too hopeful. I mean, the guy's, he's just not that kind of a guy. He might not get it.
He's not a self-reflection kind of guy. No. You know what I mean? He's not going to be like, after being, having a nasty bout with the coronavirus, I've turned a new leaf. No, but again, I agree with what you said just a minute ago, 100%. In fact, I was saying this with much vigor the other day. I was like, look, if people in this country want to be that close-minded and short-sighted about human life at the end of the day and the value of human life and wishing somebody dead over political standpoint, go fucking move to Russia. Okay. That's where that's acceptable. You know what I mean? If you want to kill people for not agreeing in you and stuff like that, there's other countries that do it all the time and kind of sweep it under the rug. And maybe that's where you're better suited, especially as Bob said, if maybe, praying to Jesus and going to church and doing all this stuff doesn't help you become a better person. Maybe you just go to a shittier place. You know what I mean? Where that kind of shit's okay.
Is it a little bit ironic or a lot bit ironic that some of these extreme views that we'll see on social media, which, let's just be clear, social media represents 1% of the worst of us.
Yeah, on the right and left, the extreme right and left, yeah.
Some of these people that you'll see wishing death on the president and hoping that this ends him and all that are the very same people that are fighting to end the death penalty for like actual murderers.
Yeah.
It's ironic, right?
It's very ironic, but that just goes to show you again, it's like that whole, not in my backyard kind of deal. And now it's just kind of, again, they're just, it is what it is. I just think it's disgusting. But I have seen, and this is how much I can't trust the media or politicians either. It's really horrible that this happens, but I did see like the public condolences that Joe Biden and Jill Biden gave the Trump and First Lady. Right. And when I saw this, like, I did send my sincere condolences over. I was like, really? Is that for real? Or did he just have to do that? Those two guys fucking hate each other. We could tell after during the debate.
Yeah, but Joe's a religious guy. He also pulled all of his negative ads.
I saw that too. But again, is this like, hey, you guys, again, is it the campaign manager like, we got to pull the negative ads right now? I mean, we're gonna look pathetic here. And again,
who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. And that's
there's no way of knowing.
And then there was something that Rachel Maddow, who hates Trump, with a heart, like personally, but yeah, she actually posted something about wishing the president a speedy recovery and blah blah blah. Very, very heartfelt. And again, I had the same kind of second guess of myself here. I was like, is she doing this is she really just under all this? Is she just a good person, or is she doing it for points? Is she doing it for rating points, to get some swing people to come watch her show versus Tucker?
You never know, but I will say that those of us that think critically can have a delineation between hating someone's politics with a passion and still respecting them as a person and as a human. You know what I mean? So I can always turn it off. Like, there's plenty of people that I know that I disagree 100% with their politics, but I'm not going to hold that against like their children or them as a person, or like there's no reason we can't like watch a football game together or hang out, drink a beer or whatever. Yeah, we just know that, hey, we probably shouldn't talk politics, right? And that's okay.
True,
So
true.
you never know.
You never know. And I think it's just me being very pessimistic and you know, by example, you know, it's hard for me to tell who's genuine or not, but I still appreciate, whether it be genuine or not, the outreach and the public display that they do give a fuck, because it's tough times. So
he is POTUS.
He is POTUS.
Our POTUS has an illness with a higher mortality rate than most illnesses, right? He does not have an allergy flare-up going here. This is the big deal.
He could be having a flare-up right now too, you know, like herpes or something like that, which from my understanding is definitely a pre-existing condition. So he's in the 70s age bracket.
Just like this huge hemorrhoid, he's sending him this giant like donut. Coughing with an oxygen mask on, having to lean to one side. Like he's just got it rough.
That's tough times, man. I've had one of those like golf ball size roids before that kind of puts you like on a kickstand. It's a tough time. But again, just so everybody knows here, I am wishing well for Donnie Trump, President Donnie Trump, and the beautiful First Lady. You guys come out of this on the other end. I'm not quite done with making fun of you, Trump, and you're better healthy to make fun of than sick. So.
And that comes from both sides over here, and not just the president. You know, everyone in the orbit that is now coming down with these confirmed cases, especially, you know, you see
Governor Chris Christie.
Christie, thank you, from New Jersey. That guy is at super high risk.
Yeah,
that guy was at super high risk for like living day to day anyway.
I think they literally I think he decided, and his whole like, you know, like staff and everything, just like, dude, look at yourself. You tested positive. I know you feel okay, but let's check yourself into the hospital like ASAP, dude. I mean, you know what I mean?
To his credit, he's probably lost like 60 pounds and he's still like 100 pounds overweight. I mean, so it's everyone, but especially POTUS, you know, and the family and everyone. We don't ever. It never crosses over personally, no matter what our views really are. So I think I speak for the both of us in saying that the stiff truth wishes, you know, POTUS a speedy recovery so we can get back to some of these ridiculous debates.
Yes. I think this throws a wrench in what we had for a plethora of material. So get better, Trump, so we can dive into more debates. And speaking of which, let's dive into the first debate. Now,
hold on. Kind of one kind of thing I noticed. You haven't seen the video from yesterday yet, right? Okay, so he did post a quick video, just kind of, you know, letting them know, look, I'm still doing it. I'm still with it. They must like spray tan must interact negatively with remdesivir because he is not orange anymore. So
wow.
He looked like a normal, you know, old white guy today.
Which probably looks good on him, I would imagine, too, because the crispy I just got out of the oven at KFC look, I always think is a little bit strange anyways. I don't know if he does daily, you know, daily like spray tanning or something like that, but maybe he's had to skip a couple of regimens, you know? I don't know.
I don't know, but I heard it takes him several hours to get ready. So I wonder if some of that is like rotisserie style.
He's literally got like a heat lamp shell he gets in, and it just turns him around in a circle. Like,
he puts some eye things on, and he just sits there. He's got like a cap to protect his wig or hair, and then he just turns him around while it sprays him nice and even. Yeah, maybe I could see that.
But definitely, we got to get into the debate here, buddy. We were comical about this, as I think a lot of people probably were before it started, right? We were making fun and saying, hey, it's game day. You know, kickoff is about to go down. You even had a nice little spread, didn't you?
I did. I had like Super Bowl style treats.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Bob had the whole barbecue spread out like it was game day for the Super Bowl, because this was a big deal. We knew they were going to come out guns blazing. We were assuming that there was going to be some low blows thrown and some tit for tat kind of stuff. But whoa, Boy, did we underestimate the nastiness of this game. We'll go ahead and say here. First of all, congratulations, Chris Wallace. Definitely the winner of the debate, like I had posted a few days ago. I don't think I would have been able to keep my cool with both of the dudes interrupting me so much and not let dude, I don't think either of them let him finish a question, because part of his question was explanatory. At first he's like, so this and this had happened. My question, excuse me, sir, can I finish? And both of them would start talking before they even got to the question. How frustrating would that be? Talking to your 4-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that, but they're grown-ass men. It was pretty rough, Bob. But what were your initial thoughts of this debate, opposed to, let's just say, the half dozen other ones that we've seen in our lifetimes?
I'm glad all the food that we made was like keto food, because I started off like throwing down on poppers and loving it. Like, this is going to be good, and eating out of excitement for like the big debate. And then it wasn't 10 minutes in before I'm now shame eating.
Yeah, you're stress eating and shame eating.
yeah, exactly. So it quickly turned. This is the worst display for America, since 9/11 was put on television. Like, this is something the whole world was watching. Just in America, they estimated 100 million people were watching. How many millions more across the world were watching? Especially in English-speaking countries, Europe and all that were watching and looking at this display, right? Thinking, oh, well, maybe America's still got a chance, and then quickly realized they are fucked.
Seriously,
it was disturbing, and it was sad, and it made me really disappointed and sad in America.
Yeah, that much I can say the least as well too. I had to think about that on like a global landscape, and just anybody, because everybody's interested. If they're not, they don't care at all about the where the world's going, right? I mean, America is a huge player in the world, so I'm sure plenty of people, even not English people, had that shit subtitled and ready to rock and roll. But I'm sure everybody had a jaw-dropping element of what in the actual F is going on in America. I mean, we see it on the news, on even our not so subjective news sources that we have in our country, but they hear through the grapevine. They have social media, like we talked about before. They get all this the same bullshit news that we do about how this country is so divided, and then they literally see it on television, like proof in the pudding. Wow, this is their two political systems. This is the two parties. This is how they talk to each other. This is okay, I'm really glad I live in Estonia or whatever, right? Like, people all of a sudden are getting that sense of what we used to feel as Americans. Like, well, at least we live in America. And you're like, wow. But yeah, one thing I gotta say, and it was so interesting. This is what just trips me out, man, about people that are highly partisan on either end of the table. You got, obviously, after the debate, I heard from some of my very liberal friends. And it's like, well, obviously there was a clear winner in that debate.
I think you would say less of a loser.
Who was more?
Maybe there was less of a loser.
Oh, I lost your audio.
Really?
Here, I'm gonna. My internet's unstable now. Let me hop back in.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you're back now.
Hey.
What just happened there?
And technical difficulties. The OSS is monitoring us.
Yeah, you're a little. Let me jump back in anyways, because you're a little choppy. Okay.
Okay, I'll wait here and entertain folks by myself.
Okay. All right, I'll jump right back in, dude.
Well, to my point, while we're waiting on Scott to come back, like I had just said, I think that there was not really a winner, because how do you get a winner out of that display of nonsense? So instead of someone saying that there's a winner and a loser in that debate, I think that there was two losers. Maybe Biden lost a little less because he looked a little less immature, but I would not say that there was a winner in that debate. I mean, even Chris Wallace, if he had a mic mute button, maybe he could have been the winner, but he was dealing with the shit show with no gloves.
Yeah, this is true. And were you just continuing to talk?
Yeah.
Like, good for you.
The show must go on, buddy. I mean, we can't wait for internet hiccups here. We got to keep moving forward.
Scott had a quick bathroom commercial break here, but no, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, honestly, like, again, pure hardcore liberal, a clear winner in the debate. And I was like, well, if the debate was who was being more polite on the grand scheme of things, yeah, sure, Biden won. I'm the more polite part of the debate, but then I talked to hardcore conservative people. It's like, oh, that was great. The best line of the debate was when Trump said this, and I was like, what? Or I posted something about it just being a complete shit show. They're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And I was like,
it was. It was that bad.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? And I even told somebody, I was like, no, that was the most disgraceful, like, unprofessional piece of shit debate, and you know it. And then they replied back, well, I can't argue with that. I was like, okay, so but you just did. But yeah, the thing that I found very, very interesting is we have these people on very polarized people on both sides saying, oh, that was a landslide victory for Biden. Oh, Trump really showed him that he can't run on pure emotions, and he was just poking holes in all of his rhetoric, blah, 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 blah. Both of these guys almost said zero about what they plan to do for the American people moving forward. Everybody on this debate was talking about what I've done during the Obama administration as vice president, or what I've done for the past 3.5 years, minus the pandemic. That was all I heard, dude. So literally, what was very deflating about that is not only was it so hard, like you were saying, my stress level, my anxiety level was like fucking. It was a 15 out of 10 watching that. I was waiting so bad for like a commercial break. Can they ring the bell? Can these guys go sit in their corner and calm down for a couple minutes, have a little pep talk with their coach or something? Because it was bad, but I think I needed a break more than anybody, man. And yeah, beyond just being embarrassing in the sense that, one, Trump could not keep his fucking mouth shut. He could not do it. Like, it was impossible. I don't think there is.
I think it was the Adderall.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that. It's funny that you say that, because they interviewed Chris Wallace, was it yesterday? And they were just talking about, the diagnosis of COVID, and, and they were asking him, he may have already had this during the debate. Did you notice anything? And blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, and he kind of smiled. He's like, well, I'll tell you, if he was not feeling well, there was definitely no lack of energy from the president. In fact, some of us could have said he could have toned it down a couple of notches. And I was like, it's like Chris Wallace's political correctness way of saying that, well, if he was sick, he was high as a kite and talking a mile a minute. But yeah, that by itself is crazy. But there was almost nothing of substance said by either of these gentlemen. And again, watching this, and I was talking to my brother about this, watching the debate. It was really fun for me to put myself in both of their shoes for answering the questions. And this is what really upsets me. I don't care who you're voting for or who you want out, and that's why you need to vote for the other, or whatever it is. But I literally, not being a pompous ass or anything like that, I could have answered any of these questions better than they did, and that's alarming to me. You know what I mean? That I could have put myself in the shoes, and I wholeheartedly think that I could have done a better job with answering any of the questions that they got dealt, and that's fucking sad, because I wasn't able to do that.
Let me be the first to endorse Scott Casanova for president in 2024.
Okay, I appreciate that. Cat's out of the bag. I'm going to start my campaign run here.
You're old enough by a couple of years. You could do it.
I know. Now, skeletons in my closet. Sure, I've got
just let them hang out there. just put it all out there, and don't be embarrassed. Just tell them, don't worry about my colorful past. I'm a grower, not a shower.
And I've grown.
I will rise to the challenge.
But I have, the reason why I thought that was so concerning, dude, is I have watched, regardless of who I like in politics, watching the debates between, even old debates like between Bush and Reagan, right? That we referenced numerous times on this show, the 1980.
1980.
Yeah, 1980. Yeah. Republican primary debates. That watching. George Bush and Clinton, or watching W even with John Kerry and other people.
And Al Gore, yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of times where I couldn't answer some of these questions better than these guys. I'm not going to act like I'm some awesome like poli sci guy that has his finger on the pulse with everything going on in the world. In fact, there's a lot of things like, let's see how he answers this. But literally, both of these dudes, if they didn't sound like they were regurgitating something that was positive about them on Fox News or CNN, which a lot of them, they just kind of this regurgitation mode of what we've already heard in the news cycle, they fucking missed the mark, or they could have knocked something out of the park and they went in left field. You know what I mean? So it was very deflating, dude. When you think that you're smarter than the politicians that are going to control the country, that's a red flag for me, buddy. I don't know about you. So.
No, and I get it. And I felt the same way during the debate. I'm not hearing any thoughtful responses. I'm hearing, like you said, a regurgitation of your liberal or conservative campaign talking points. You're just saying the same thing that's in your ads, the same thing you keep telling people with the same answers. Like, why can't you just sit back? I mean, you keep getting the, from Biden, here's the deal. But then he goes right on into the, like, what his last campaign was or whatever. And it's just like, well, give me the deal. Like, give me some, like, if you're going to bust that out and say, well, here's the deal, and talk to me like we're like at a bar sharing a beer, then talk to me like we're at a bar sharing the beer. Right. Yeah. And he wouldn't go that far and get that personal. And then Trump always has his talking points. He doesn't deviate from them. He sticks to it. He stays consistent with his talking points, and Biden does too. And it just really bothers me that once again, there was an opportunity for both of these gentlemen, and it was missed. Every time. Are they too old? And I'm sorry to say that, but are they too old to realize that this is their opportunity, or are they too fucking concerned with hatred for each other?
I honestly think it's the latter. I hope it's the latter. But you have a great point there. It could be an element of both of those things, because honestly, I'll just take the very first thing they talked about. The very first question Chris Wallace asked about is the Supreme Court nomination, right? And the answer from Trump turned into coronavirus and law and order. Right. And like, he even said, dude, I have a question about coronavirus next and law and order after that. We were just, and he kind of like snickered almost, because again, Chris Wallace getting a little bit flustered. He's like, we were talking about the Supreme Court. So Biden, my question to you is, can we talk about the Supreme Court for a minute? And they couldn't even stay on track. They couldn't even stay within the category of what the topic was about and what the question was about. To me, it's mind-blowing. So it does show an element of like, are these guys just senile, or are they blindly angry and aggressive and frustrated with the opponent so much, like you said, that they can't stay focused on actually answering a very important question that the American people want to hear their stance on, right? So
I would like to break down a debate for those out there that may not have ever prepared for one on the other side, that have just maybe watched one but never actually had to stand up there and give one. So you get these topics beforehand for a reason. So you get those topics so that you can go with topic 1 through 6. Let's go to topic 1. All right, here's the topic on 1. I'm going to push this side of the argument. I'm going to bring up this point, this point, this point. But I know that my opponent's most likely going to bring up this point, and this point. So if they do, I want to have these counter arguments, these rebuttals, for their possibility rebuttal after I bring up my point, so that I can argue that and prove my position in the debate. That's what a debate is. That's why you get the answers beforehand. And these guys, they just up there, then they both started interrupting each other, trying to steal the spotlight and give campaign speeches.
Yeah, and what you just said there is a very unique thing. It's a little bit atypical that people sometimes do, but it's called being prepared, right? So it's really interesting that these guys almost went in there like they're all former vice president. Here's kind of the stuff that we prepared for you based off the questions. Same thing with Trump. It's almost like they started to walk on stage and say, "Fuck this shit! I'm going balls to the walls, and I'm just fucking handling business out there." They both came out there like they weren't prepared for anything when it came to actually debating the topics at hand.
If you can't prepare for a debate, Scott, let me ask you, how the fuck are you going to prepare to have a one-on-one meeting with Putin or Xi?
You're just going to, shoot from the hip, right? Just hope for the best. My charisma will get me through it,
Yeah, I hope my intuition will lead the 340 million Americans that are behind me. But
That's alarming. That's quite alarming, my friend.
for real, I mean, how did the intuition work for all the failed business adventures for Donald Trump? How did the intuition work on the crime bill back in the 90s for Biden? Like, maybe we should prepare more off of constituents that you're representing and not off of these weird, like, gut feelings that you're going to try to push forward and just hope for the best. It's time that we stop hoping for the best.
Well, and yeah. I mean, we can't. We have to hope for the worst, and that way we're never disappointed.
I love it. Set that bar real low.
Really low. I mean, I want to be able to step on that bar and also have part of my foot on the ground still. I mean, that's how low that bar should be right now.
If you lower everyone's expectations enough, you're fabulous.
Exactly. See, and maybe that's the angle that we're going now. I mean, we have to. But here's
Bob West for president. Hey, at least I'm not a rapist.
Yeah, well, allegedly. Oh my god. Well, and I'll say this too, a couple of things here beyond, and we both know this, right? And I'm going to use Trump as an example, but Biden fell into, we'll call it the trap too. He did start off not interrupting, but once Trump kept prodding him and pushing him, he got under his skin, and you could hear it. You could hear it under both of them. Trump would be saying something, he goes, "Oh, and Biden's on the other end commentary. That's not true. This guy's full of it, And you're like, you're doing the same thing that you were calling out Trump for, saying this guy can't shut up. And I was like, now you're doing the same thing. You started out on the high ground, and now you're hitting him in the balls just like he's hitting you in the balls. You guys are both going below the belt.
And we knew that, and we talked about this before in a previous show about the whole thing for Biden is going to be not taking the bait, right? Can he be professional? Can he not take the bait? Can he not respond with low blows? And if I were to grade him, he got like a C- in that.
He really did. He acted throughout the whole thing like this is just unprofessional. You fucking clown. You know what I mean? As he goes through, you're like, dude, you're literally trying to like walk the fine line there, but you just fell off the ledge like twice as you get back up on it and be like, no, I'm the guy taking the high road here. So I'll say that was very, very unfortunate. But here's the other thing that just, again, if I'm an American that's undecided, and let's just face it, all this debate did was reinforce what people see in the news cycles depending on what they're watching, right? So there was no winning of votes on either end of the table for these guys. There was nothing happening. But one of the big red flags for me here too, Trump's campaign did agree 2 minutes uninterrupted, right, while the other person talks. He didn't fulfill that part of the bargain in any question that Biden was asked. So if you can't follow through with a simple request during the debate to keep the format legitimate, how can you really trust the man to do anything really important right there?
I agree to these terms for this debate. However, you might want to have a mute button in case I don't abide by them.
It's like, I'll agree to these terms. Absolutely. That I'm a stand-up guy. However, if Biden says anything that pisses me off or I think is untrue, I can't stand by that. I'm going to have to speak up, so that's the other thing. But if I got to pick out the one worst thing, I guess, two worst things, but one from each. I think it was very glaring that Biden would not, and he just said, I'm not going to answer this question when they were asking him, are you going to pack the court? And that's where Trump was like in the background, is that like, guy Paisley, are you going to pack the court? Pack the court. Are you going to pack the court? Answer the question. Are you going to pack the court? But he's like, I'm not going to answer that question. I was like, okay. It's a highly unethical idea of court packing. Hasn't been really done since FDR. And he just refused to answer the question. And he even said, well, if I answer the question, that's all that this is going to be about, is how I answer the question. So I refuse to answer the question. You're like, holy shit, that was a fucking big miss right there. And then, of course, when Trump on the other side was asked to condemn hate groups, most importantly, white supremacist groups like the Proud Boys, and he wouldn't do it. Stand down and stand by doesn't really mean I condemn you. So I think those were the biggest misses, one from each of the guys. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and I agree. Again, they should have been prepared for those questions. They knew they were going to come up at some point.
Well,
right?
Literally, the Supreme Court pick just happened before the debate, and Biden's like, I know how I'm going to handle this. I'm just going to say I won't answer the question. I was like, yeah,
I thought there was a couple of like really good, to kind of go on the other side. There was a couple of things that they said that were really good. So one time, Trump zinged Biden pretty good when they were talking about BLM and racial injustice, right? And then Trump called them out at that point and said, well, you didn't really care about racial injustice when you were helped write the 94 crime bill, right? And that is valid. That is a presidential thing to say. That is a key thing to say. People need to be aware of that. That was only 25 years ago. I know that seems like a long time ago for the Zers out there, but 25 years when you're 75 isn't all that long ago. You were already getting letters from AARP, right? So that was a really good a thing for him to be aware of and catch on that and call him out on, and that's valid. And I wish they could have talked about that a little more instead of bickering and talking over each other. And then the thing that Biden said that was probably the best thing that he did all night is when Trump kept bringing up, Hunter, and even so much he was pushing for Hunter Biden that he even didn't listen that Joe was talking about his dead son Beau, and he'd said something about his son this and this, not even catching that he was talking about the dead one, right? Yeah. And then Biden said after that, it's like, listen, it's not. Here's the deal. it's
classic line.
It's not about your family or my family, but it's about the American people's family. He looked right at the camera and he said, it's about helping you guys. And that is very presidential too. That is a thing to get away from the bickering for just a moment and say, it's about what can we do that's going to help most of you guys out there. And I thought that was probably the most sincere and best thing that Biden said all night.
Yeah. Well, and there was a couple lines that I did like too, especially as Biden very empty words though, when he's like, I'm going to turn this around, this and that, both of them with that kind of shit, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then one of the interjections that I did like, he's like, when are you going to do it? You haven't done anything in the past 47 years to correct that. Kind of like, what are you going to do moving forward? So there was a couple of those stabs where I thought, again, highlighting how long he's been a lifer politician and these things he says he's going to fix, he's not really done anything up to this point to really address throughout his political career. So that was good. But you're right. I mean, they both had small little hints, small little flare-ups, so to speak, of like, oh, well, there we go. That was slightly presidential. Can we see more of that, please?
Yeah, we're talking maybe 3 minutes from each of them in a 90-minute fucking fiasco.
And a 90-minute yelling contest about two old men that I think what happened is I could see like these guys in a deli, fighting over whose order came out, thinking it's theirs. Like, no, this is my soup. No, this is my soup. And then like having them get really dirty about it.
It clearly says no onions. That's my soup. Sorry. I don't know where Bernie came from. Yeah.
Bernie comes in. He's like, look, it's nobody's soup. In fact, everybody's going to get a little Dixie cup and we're going to fill up everybody.
We're all going to share this soup.
Because that's how we do it. But honestly, my God, what a shit show. And I had to check myself, dude. I literally, because again, it was game day. So I had some cocktails out. I was having some scotch,
Of course.
But as my anxiety and my levels went up and I could feel my face getting hot and all kinds of shit, dude, I even had to say, Scott, the debate just ended. I was completely flustered. You know what I mean? I was about to go get myself another drink and I was like, pump the brakes. It is Tuesday night. You've got to work early in the morning. Let's not get shit-faced here. But honestly, that's where my brain was going. I was like, whew, God, man, I need a drink badly. You know what I mean? And wow, that's all I got to say. So I'm hoping, do you know when the next debate is scheduled? The presidential?
October 15th.
Are we going to have time here for him? Is Trump going to be ready?
He shouldn't be out of quarantine yet. So
yeah. Well, but hey, maybe we'll have a better format if he's feeling up to it, and I hope he's feeling better. Maybe it'll be virtual, and they can actually shut him off and shut Biden off when they start over talking each other.
Yeah, let's do it on Zoom or something, and the moderator, the host, can then just mute mics that way. Super easy.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking about it too. Things do go for take a turn for the worse. Again, God forbid. It makes the vice presidential debate so much more important here. Let's see how maybe the stand-in president Pence now, how he actually, how he works. What's behind this mystery man here? You know what I mean? So A lot of things to be determined, Bob. But I'll tell you what, just like the debate, I'm getting myself worked up. I think it's about time for us to go get a cocktail. What do you think,
Let's
bud?
do it.
All right.
Cheers, Scotty.
Oh, cheers all the way. Cheers to your tits.
Cheers for fears.
Oh, it's a great band.
Cheers for beers.
Go ahead and recline that thing all the way back. Pour yourself a nice little bottle of bubbly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I'll tell you what, I will say this too, and the Stiffies can attest to it. Not the fuck was that, Bob? Are you trying to pull some smart guys shit on me over here?
It was nothing. It was nothing. Don't pay attention to that. It's fucking talking points and rumors.
That's what I hear. Jeez. But I was going to say, not nearly as much of the breathing and the wheezing as months back when you had to go up the stairs and down the stairs.
No, I'm doing better. In fact, though, I'm a little coffee right now because I laughed right before break there, and I guess some saliva went down the wrong pipe. So,
I'll tell you what, breathing and swallowing and laughing, it gets hard at an older age. You can attest to this.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you what, this cocktail really sums up what we think about what's going on in the world right now. Let's get a little.
Look at that.
Yeah, baby. Ladies and gents, today we are having what we call the Foo Bar. That's right. And let's have a little sippy.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it oddly like champagne?
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
You know what it is? It's the cider. It's that cider aftertaste and everything. But guys, let me break down. This may be one of our stiffest drinks that we've had that's been mixed, because there is not any mixer in this drink at all. So I think it rivals, again, when we talk about potency, a Rusty Nail, an Italian Stallion, a Manhattan, those kind of drinks. I mean, we're talking here. This is a long drink. It's another long drink.
It is, and it's essentially like a Boilermaker.
It really is. But what we got here, guys, is the Foo Bar. And if anybody doesn't know what that stands for, it's fucked up beyond recognition. And it usually is a term, right? Shit has hit the fan. I think
it's a Marine term.
Yeah, everybody uses it now. But things have gone completely awry. No turning back. Shit's totally messed up. But what it is, guys, is this is a long drink. So most people that know, there's usually that mixture, that beautiful blend of tequila, white rum, vodka, and gin. 4 parts, all a half ounce of that. And then you top it off with hard cider, and a nice tall glass filled with ice. So interesting, bro. That you're right, though. I honestly did not think this one would taste good at all. I was like looking at it, I was like,
I was a little skeptical.
Yeah, I was like, this is a ballsy one too for AM drinking, but I'll tell you, it's actually pretty damn good. I bet you Marilyn Monroe would approve. She's like, now this one's got balls.
Just throw some grenadine in there and a couple of cherries, you'll be okay.
Yeah, a couple of barbs. Throw those pills in there too. Bing, bong, bing, bam. Feeling great. Love that.
Yeah. It's no secret we like our long drinks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is secret? Area 52.
Ooh, nicely done, Bob. Nicely done. Yeah. In fact, people are probably like, Area 52. What kind of Mickey Mouse bullshit are these guys talking about? But guys, conspiracy time is here upon us, and you're absolutely right. This is a legit thing, and if anybody doesn't know, it's not necessarily dubbed Area 52 because Area 51 was made publicly known that it is Area 51.
1994.
Yeah. Yes. This establishment here in this place in Utah, Dugway Proving Grounds. It's huge. It's over the size of Rhode Island, which people are probably like, Rhode Island, yeah, fantastic. So it's like what, like a city park or something like that. But seriously, it's massive. And the understanding here, at least what I'm getting, is that people know about Area 51. I mean, there was even that ridiculous attempt to storm Area 51 that was an epic fail recently. But the idea here is that things got so hot and so publicly known in Area 51 that the military transferred a lot of their secret UFO reverse engineering experiments to Dugway Proving Ground, which is, how big is it, Bob? Like, it's bigger than
800,000 square acres.
Yeah, 800,000 square acres, and this is right smack in the middle of.
I guess acres already are square, so 800,000 acres.
There you go. But this is right smack in the middle of Utah too, and it's extremely remote. There's not really a lot going on here, and that's the idea, right? It's like they felt the heat in Nevada, so they picked up all their secret stuff and moved it over to this area. Bob.
Yeah, and if you guys want to get a Google Maps on it, it's about 75 miles southwest of Salt Lake. So that's it. There's this huge valley that's just crazy Utah desert in between 3 mountain ranges, and it is all Army base, and it's a joint base because most of the base is an Army base, but then there's an Air Force testing facility that's really big too, attached to it at the bottom. So, and
I guess they intermingle a lot with some of their experimental things, which makes sense, right? So, in essence, there is experimental testing there that's top secret for all branches of the military. Which, boy. And again, the quick little doc that I finally was able to watch early this morning. There's definitely some shit going on here, right? Whether or not it's a hotbed of UFO activity and what they're testing is definitely something that we're not going to know for a long time here. But they got that place fucking roped off like super tight. Like you can't even get close to it.
How about the story of the sheriff that worked for the Indian reservation just west of the base? It was in 2004, right?
A lot of things happened in 2004.
2004 was a crazy year. It wasn't just the John Kerry, John Bush year.
No, there was a lot more going on. A lot in Utah going on. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting because, one, he had seen a UFO that had unusual flight patterns, and that kind of responded to his spotlight, and that's how he kind of understood, oh, this can't be like a drone or something like that.
And he said the thing came about 80 to 100 feet above his head and stopped above them.
Yeah, and then as soon as he shined, the light was shined on it, it fucking took off the other direction, and then he saw 2 F-16s fly directly towards it like they were in hot pursuit of it over this mountain range. You're like, yeah, that's strange. And then very soon after, the mutilations, bro. This is something I think, if not aliens are having fun out there like a kid with a magnifying glass on insects, boy, the fucking military sure loves to fucking mutilate a lot of animals, because the 2 razor-sharp decapitated horses, that was pretty gross. But, they said that they had done experiments not only on livestock, but I believe humans too in the 1950s, right? Germ warfare and stuff like that?
Yeah, they did. And they took volunteers and literally like lined them up next to guinea pigs and monkeys and gave them, antidotes to, nerve agents and things like that to test on them. So that's pretty crazy. They don't do that anymore, allegedly.
Yeah. I mean,
so I do kind of want to explain what Dugway is on the surface. Right. Yeah. So Dugway on the surface, I watched a video about what they do, and honestly, it looked like an HR video for like new employees or something. But it was a video about what they do, and basically they work with chemical and biological weaponry and defense systems. So specifically, back in the day, they were working with offensive chemical and biological agents, right, in the 50s and the 60s. But now they say, at least, that they're working on defense systems against it, either in mass defense systems for their troops out in the field. If someone drops a chemical agent, do they have things that they can set up to protect a huge number and a huge area of troops? And then they also are always working in developing masks, gloves, the PPE stuff that the soldiers would wear when chemical or biological agents are around, and they still have to like go do their thing. So that's on the surface what they're really doing out there, but that's the military side of it as far as what they do. Now they have defense contractors out there, which I would assume, the defense contractors that everyone thinks of are like Raytheon, Lockheed. You can look those up in the stock exchange. They're defense contractors. This is no secret. But so they didn't say which defense contractors are out there. They just said that they have a lot of, quote, customers that are out there that use the testing facility and its vast landmass to implement and test some of these things that the defense contractors are working on, which by in no way means that they have to fall in line with the chemical and biological testing that Dugway does.
Yeah. Yeah. Nor do these contractors have to adhere to any kind of divulging of information about what the fuck they're doing out there. They're not sus. They don't have to adhere to the Freedom of Information Act at all, too, which kind of sucks, because when we usually hear that term, we're just like, okay, here comes the dirt, but no go on this kind of stuff. It stays hush hush forever. Interesting stuff, man. So one thing that I noticed was, again, here it is. I mean, obviously something is going on there. What do you think about that huge laser beam into the sky that caused disturbances that homie saw again in 2004? Now, this is a ufologist, and I think this is kind of interesting to me. He's like, yeah, so we were just standing over here. It was about 1 a.m. What are you doing out here? It's like, what are you not going to find when you're looking for something at 1 a.m? But it was very interesting that, again, this guy saw what looked like a giant laser beam, huge beam of light that had the diameter of a car, he said. I don't know how you kind of determine that from how far away he was.
I think the point he was trying to make was just that it was huge. Laser, right?
Yeah,
big enough to like go through a cloud and keep going.
And that's something they say light doesn't normally go through clouds naturally. Yeah, but yeah, heat does.
So concentrated laser with heat probably would.
So my theory here is like, yeah, they are definitely testing top secret shit that may be reverse engineering from UFO shit that they found over the decades, right? And they're like, whoa, we've got to go study this, see if we can figure out by working backwards, how does this shit work? Can we use it to our advantage? And can we up our technology and defense systems to make this shit out of this world? So maybe that's what it was. Obviously, what they've always wanted to do is they've wanted to develop some kind of laser technology that could shoot satellites out of space orbit, right? Looks like they might have found something there.
Yeah, going on that, they've had 2 instances where something has crashed on Dugway, which Dugway is really big. But the first one was this huge ball of fire going across Utah that, dozens of people saw, and it ends up going on Dugway, and then everyone's just like, oh, yeah, it's just a meteor. No big deal. And just disappeared, and that was that. But then the next one, they actually sent a probe up, and then it crash landed back at Dugway. So the theory is that they're developing technology to potentially crash and guide satellites and or UFOs to Dugway's landmass, so that they can then not only disable it, but then disable it with a trajectory or maybe a tractor beam or whatever they're using to then bring it to Dugway.
Yeah,
that's kind of the ufologist theory there. But they definitely have had 2 confirmed things crash. One was a probe that was sent up to test on the other side of the moon, I think it was.
Something crazy.
Cosmic wind. What's in cosmic wind? And then it came back and then crashed at Dugway, which there's pictures to verify that. And the other was the huge ball of fire that just went to Dugway, and it was just no big deal.
I've called some of my farts cosmic wind before. The ones that were really impressive. I just wanted to throw that in there. Total sidebar.
It wasn't you. It was the dog.
Well, that's what I say when it's really bad, and I'm ashamed of what came out of my ass. That's what usually happens. But no, and here's the other thing I thought was interesting too. Again, atypical stuff, like what's the necessary means for all this? Why do they need so much space? Here's what they say, right? They say, well, we keep getting more contractors that are helping us do more experimentation and more testing and all this kind of stuff. So we need more room. They've already got like a giant chunk of Utah that they own. We need more room though. And they wanted to expand it into where homie saw the crazy laser beam shootout, right? So that's interesting. The other thing I thought was pretty interesting that kind of just, again, gives credit to this being a very hush-hush kind of geographic move to a lot of weird stuff that was going on at Area 51 that they maybe want to get the target off their back there, is the runway that they have at Dugway is the largest, I think, in the country by far. And it's meant to, on surface level, accommodate the spaceship landing, right? But also they were quoted saying, anything else could fucking land here too because of how massive this runway is. What's the point of having a runway this big? So that was the other interesting thing that kind of led to the allure of this being a very secret.
Yeah, the runway's like 2 miles long or 3 miles long or
Yeah,
something.
it's ridiculous, but it kind of it tells you, like, you know, the crazy alien. I don't even know what you really want to call them, but like the giant carriers, like the alien carriers that you see in like Independence Day, or even the ones that you see out in space from like Star Wars, like those huge
The mothership, man.
yeah, like those things that are they're like they're almost probably like a mile long. It kind of leads you to believe that anything like that could land there too, potentially. So I mean, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Another interesting story that that came up about Dugway was one of the locals there was watching same guys that saw the laser.
Oh yeah.
They were watching a couple of F-16s fly in formation, and then one of the F-16s just disappeared, and the other one, you could still see the other one, and they were still flying in formation, but you just could no longer see the one that was next to it anymore ever again.
Some potential alien cloaking technology or something of some sort,
or even just American made by American.
Sure. Well, again, reverse engineering stuff. Maybe this is technology that
Right.
we're borrowing, right? And to that point too, there was, I think it was the same gentleman that saw what looked like dust being kicked up from a army vehicle on a road that had nothing on it. And like, well, could it have been a you know, a dust storm? It's like, yeah, but a dust storm, we see them all the time out here. It doesn't go 70 miles an hour. You know, so that was the other thing too. Like, are they doing some kind of cloaking technology out here and testing it in broad daylight? Because why not? They've literally got thousands of acres of very remote desert. Like, what a barren area too. Look, man, like kind of dauntingly, like overwhelmingly just nothing there kind of stuff. So very
and just
interesting.
like Area 51, if you get too close to the fence, they'll come confront you.
Oh yeah.
Like every time. So
Yeah.
that's but you know, and that's weird because, you know, in Albuquerque we live next to a huge Air Force base, right? And
Yeah.
like right next to the fence of where the Air Force like base is like the war zone. And so
Yeah.
like people's like backyards are right up to this, but at Dugway, you can't even like walk next to the fence line without, you know, a military police coming in and start asking for your credentials and asking what the fuck you're doing there. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. And again, I don't think by the display that we saw there, there's any attempt to hide that there is something going on here that's top secret and that government does not want the public to know about. But it is pretty suspect, like you were saying. You got Kirtland that's like hugged right against like people's backyards that are barbecuing. They give two shits because it's just a regular Air Force base. But God forbid you get within 100 yards of the fence that says no trespassing at Dugway, because you know that pole over there, if you take a picture of it, I'm going to need to confiscate your camera. Pretty hardcore shit, which kind of leads me to believe there's definitely some things that would blow our socks off going on there. So I'm actually very interested to see what they're doing. Again, I don't know if it's like anything to do with aliens there, but they're definitely working on some pretty cool stuff, man. If you ask me, if they got to keep it this hush hush, I want to know about it.
I agree, and I know that Spec Ops teams do train there because in the video that I watched, that little HR video thing, it showed guys like mocking a break-in into like a biological lab and like taking samples and shit and like getting out of there full gear, right? And so it did show the training that they do. So they legitimately, at least the base, the U.S. government portion of it, trains, you know, people with biological and chemical warfare situations, techniques, whatever. But the big question mark about Dugway is not about what the military does there. The big question mark at Dugway is about what publicly traded defense companies do.
Yes, that don't have to say anything about what they're doing. I know, I think that's really interesting. And if you really get down to the nitty gritty of like, okay, why is this even a conspiracy? What's the motivation that makes it something that is a conspiracy? I like the idea of what was being said of, okay, you have Area 51 already. What's the need for another one? And I like the response too. Is like, well, maybe we're developing so much top secret technology, we don't want to keep all our eggs in one basket. Why have it all in one place that could potentially be destroyed by one bomb, right? And then we got decades and decades of technological advances from borrowing alien technology and reverse engineering it. That's just wiped out. Or maybe we have so much of it going on now, we had to put stuff elsewhere. And in addition to that, if there is too much heat because Area 51 is publicly known now, it does make sense that if they want to kick up some really hardcore, very top secret new experiments, that they don't want to actually do it right in public view. So they just kind of shift it around. So I think that all these different little variables bode well to saying, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of crazy shit going on here. And I'd love to, how would we figure it out? Do we send Rob Lowe again or what? What's going on there? Tell the Stiffies about that.
So Rob Lowe had a series, which after watching a couple of episodes, I really like Rob Lowe. But he had a series in 2017 that's called The Lowe Files on A&E. Plug. And then, but it was only one series, right?
Plug for his canceled show.
Right. But it was 9 episodes, right? But one of those episodes, him and his 2 sons, which is the premise of the show, him and his sons go out and then kind of search around for conspiracy theories, wild stories, investigate things. It's a good reason to hang out with his young adult boys, right? So
sure.
Cool show. Just the boys hanging out. And so they go out to Dugway, and like this raptor with like a razor on the trailer behind it, right? They're just like cruising all over. He's like, I'm gonna go to the base. I'm gonna go check it out. He's like, what do you mean you're gonna go check it out? I'm just gonna see if I can talk my way inside. He's like, because you're Rob Lowe? Yeah.
Exactly. 100%.
He's like, one time I went to the Super Bowl and I was in the stands and I talked to some security guards and got through like 5 levels of security and got down in the field. And I was just like, well, you are Rob Lowe, but that is some good talking, right? So he drives into Dugway, and immediately there's like a visitor center kind of office that you have to probably get your TAMP badges and things like that, right? So he goes there, and he goes in the door, and it's open. And he goes to the door, and he's in there for a few seconds, and he comes back out. And they're recording this whole thing. And then there's like, whatever, he's by himself. And then he's walking halfway back to the truck, and then this giant like bass alarm starts sirening off, like a hurricane alarm on the Gulf.
Rob Lowe is on the premises.
Right. Rob Lowe is penetrating our national security. Right.
That's not the only thing he's penetrating. Come on, yeah, let's go.
Right. So he gets back in his truck and he casually drives away super slow as to not look like he's running away, probably. And he gets outside of the base and he goes and he's like visibly shaken.
Yeah, I bet.
He's just like, that was super scary. I need to like calm down. I'm done. Let's go home. That was like the end of the episode. But the whole thing about Area 52 and Dugway that's fascinating is it's fucking huge.
Gigantic, dude.
It is so huge. And the reason it's so huge is because of those fences. They want people so far that they can't get a good vantage point to see anything that's going on inside there, probably at the request of their contractors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a whole lot of conspiracy. Yeah, there's some like alien stuff, but we all know Utah is kind of a hotbed for alien stuff anyway.
The more I learn about Utah, it's got some crazy stuff going on there, man. You got Skinwalker Ranch, you've got this now, you've got a bunch of Mormons. It's a scary place.
Right. I mean, if you go get a hotel, you might get abducted or
converted.
Converted, right. So watch out when you go to Utah.
Woo.
But
PSA right here. PSA.
I really think that I when I first started looking in and seeing Dugway, I thought that this is a good opportunity for people to know because we didn't know. Everyone should kind of at least know that this is a thing. This is a huge base. There's a bunch of testing that goes on there, and if that's it, I mean, everyone should at least know that we do have things going on in Utah that we should be mindful of. I know they got in trouble a few years back, so because they test chemical warfare, they have anthrax on site.
Yeah, they got shipments of anthrax. I guess they were caught with that, right?
So they were shipping out anthrax to several labs, I think all over the world, not just the country, but several labs all over the world. And they were supposed to be dead anthrax samples, but then they accidentally shipped like the live samples. So there's this huge investigation, and they got like in trouble with the military.
I would imagine
for shipping anthrax to everyone. Imagine that's a bad deal. I guess here's the deal.
shipping live anthrax is wrong, but I thought they were dead samples. What am I supposed to do? It's okay. Wow.
Yeah, and who ships that? FedEx? Is it?
Yeah, who has the balls to ship that stuff? I'll carry it. DHL will do it.
UPS 3-day ground, no problem.
Just throw those packages around. No, that's pretty intense. Well, here's the other thing too. I think everybody knows, and it's no mystery.
This drink's pretty strong, by the way.
It is. It's good. I'm pacing myself here. But everybody knows that it is a military base and it's restricted. But what is suspect and what causes the need for us to kind of put it out there more to the general public is they don't claim to be doing anything really top secret there to the extent of what Area 51 is known for, but yet it has just the same amount of security, maybe even more so than Area 51. So it leads me to believe that there's a lot of things going on there that they're ashamed of.
Well, I don't know if they're ashamed of it, but they're definitely
for us to know about it. They would be ashamed. They'll be, we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be testing all kinds of germ and chemical warfare on unwilling, nice Mormon children. But
yeah,
they do.
And it's funny. I think it was in the 50s. They were testing VX gas, and kind of absentmindedly didn't realize that they were doing it upwind from anything. And they it went on to like a sheep farm in Utah and killed like 5,000 to 6,000 sheep. They all like hit with VX gas. The government never acknowledged any wrongdoing, but they did compensate the sheep farmers for their loss.
look, that's not us, but how much? Yeah, we'll give you $500,000 for your loss of sheep there. I apologize. And
that's not us, but how much is those sheep cost?
Yeah, we got this. We got this.
So say I just hypothetically wanted to, donate like 6,000, lamb chops to you. How much would that cost?
He's like, you asshole. We were making cashmere sweaters. We weren't right. A butcher.
This is a free range sheep herding that we were making wool out of. Some hippies.
Oh, good stuff.
Anyway,
good topic though.
Yeah, that's fun. I was looking into. I hope that there's more out there for us to find on it at some point. Maybe we can circle back and give any updates.
Yeah, seriously, man. It sounds like I just really wish, and I don't think anybody has this understanding, not even like presidential type debriefings that he gets about UFOs and top secret stuff. But if we have like this kind of super unworldly technology that they'll quote unquote like called alien technology, whether it be for offensive, defensive, or just to microwave my burrito faster, I would really like to get a peek into where we actually are technologically with our advancements, because I think we're probably a good half of a century behind, like, the general public of probably what's actually available out there. And that to me is just, it's mind blowing. And I wish we could peek behind the curtain is all I'm saying,
or up the skirt, however you want to use the euphemism. I mean,
sure. Yeah, the skirt. I use my selfie stick with a mirror on the end.
I just have a mirror on my shoe. I like to ride the train.
All right.
Anyway,
well, on that note, switching gears, fun stuff, kids. Area 52, get out there, check it out. And what are we talking about now, Bobby? I think this is going to be a step back for us. Step back in time.
I know that what I want to talk about really quick before we move on is this drink. This is the only stiff truth way to drink an apple cider. By the way, a hard apple cider. So if you're ever at somebody's house, they're like, I don't have any beer, but you want an apple cider? And you're like, yes, please. But can you throw a half ounce of rum? A half ounce tequila? You know what I mean? Vodka, gin, and I'll have that all day. So
I agree.
Just to man that up a little bit.
I agree. It's something that needs to happen. And we talked about this before too. You're not fooling anybody with your fancy tough guy masculine names for your pussy drinks.
Strongbow.
Strongbow.
It's a seltzer.
Angry, very mad-faced Orchard over here. But yeah, you're absolutely right here. I mean, I know some people that enjoy some ciders, and I'm okay with your alternative lifestyles. But this is definitely the most manly way to have a cider, my friend. This is the definition of a stiff cocktail, my friend.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sweet. I'm into it. Like I said, it literally tastes like champagne.
It's good stuff, man. But this is going to be a throwback stiff truth topic. I'm actually quite excited about it because for all of the avid stiffies that have at nauseum replayed the entire catalog every week, which I know a lot of people probably do, right, Bob? I mean, you do the same thing. So,
I look at the numbers and absolutely no people do that. But we can dream. We can dream.
Yes, act as if. But we're gonna take a step back here. Me and Bob, we decided with what's going on in the world, things are a little tense. They're a little serious. People are a little bit worried. People are a little bit anxious. So
people are literally wanting to get up in arms.
Yeah, they do. So we're going to take a step back from talking about anything too serious for the stiff truth, and we're going to have some fun. Now, it's kind of a little bit strange that the idea is still not very relaxing, but we decided to take a ride down post-apocalyptic / dystopian films. So there's so many out there, guys. I mean, probably most notably here we've got like Mad Max and the Hunger Games and things like that. But there's a lot of movies out there. So me and Bob wanted to dive in, and just because everybody wants to know so badly what our thoughts are on what are the top dystopian / post-apocalyptic films, we're going to give you the fucking rundown.
Yeah, our cinematic production, genius is a much needed asset out there in podcast land. So we're going to provide those answers and our thoughts so that all of you guys can have them and relax.
Yeah, 100%, man. So Bobby, start us off here, man. Let's take it kind of like first. Let me ask you this because I'm curious here. Is there anything out there that's considered a post-apocalyptic / dystopian type film? And we're sticking to film, folks. We're not going to literature and books right now. They have to have a legitimate film.
And I didn't even include series. So there's the new Apple TV series C, which is very good and post-apocalyptic, but I didn't include it because it's not a movie.
That's not a feature film. That has been X'd off. Now, I want to ask you this. What, in your mind, is the number one dystopian film that is way overrated and that you could care two shits about?
Hunger Games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some nerds right now just like literally shit their pants and probably some other things.
It's like the Twilight of dystopian films. It's
okay. No, and one thing, I'm not going to sit here and disagree with you. I would actually probably say that is a top one for me. Now, I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here and say one that I was very disappointed in that has multiple parts too, but I love the idea of the story is The Purge.
The Purge is great.
The Purge is the idea of The Purge is great. The movies, to me, not so much.
Well, at least they're going to keep coming. So, I mean, every 2 years, you'll get a new Purge movie like clockwork. So you've got that going for you because they make money and they're cheap to do. So
they're great. See, that's the thing. I think what I had in my head is the idea behind it. The storyline is phenomenal in my mind. I was like, this makes so much sense. But I think for me, just the first movie was a little bit of a letdown production wise. And I thought it could have been a way better movie, but the subsequent, the sequels and stuff like that have been better.
And
I really
the first one? Was it Ethan Hawke?
You know it is, baby. He's like a dystopian superstar because he was also in Gattaca too.
That's true.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. No, The Purge is really good. I think also there's one I don't think it's enough credit. There's two that I think are better than the damn Hunger Games, and that's the Maze Runner series. Pretty good. Pretty good, right? And then there's the what's the other one? I can't think of it. There's three of the Oh, I can't think of it.
Well,
Anyway.
you fucked up, Bob. You really
Well,
fucked
it's
up.
because I had a manly stiff drink. Now I can't
Yeah.
think of the name of the third series. But one thing that one kind of post-apocalyptic one that I don't think people really kind of put in the category because it doesn't fit the pictures behind us, right? The cities that crumble, the post-nuclear or whatever. The Matrix.
Yes, that is definitely a leader of the pack because, and here's the other thing I think that's
the Allegiance series. Sorry.
It's okay. You're late, but better late than never, or better never than late. Some would say that want to be a dickhead. But anyways, I like what you did there. And I will say this. I think, and this is kind of my thing, the movie, like I was saying about The Purge. And again, I love the idea, but it doesn't leave you scratching your head in amazement in the what if kind of scenarios that go through your head. The Matrix, after that movie came out in 99, when I saw the first one in the theaters, I walked out of there thinking, are we in the fucking Matrix? This could be so legitly real. You know what I mean? This is like such a good story and such a break away from the normal kind of dystopian or action movie kind of, thought process. It was a showstopper with again, that make you think kind of inflection kind of movie. So that one is a top for me too. Another one I think that has a lot of fanfare and cult following that, quite frankly, the movies are cheesy as fuck, is the Escape From movies. I love Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
but
I didn't include those.
But Escape from LA and Escape from New York, I mean, Escape from LA is extremely entertaining, but they're shit movies, guys. I mean, seriously, they don't hold a torch to movies like we're talking about right now. So I have to include that one as another one that's very, very lackluster for me. But I'll tell you, flipping the coin here, I think one that people I don't even know really think about being a dystopian movie that's one of my favorite movies of all times, I got to put it up there near the top, is Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's a dandy right there, my friend.
In fact, I just watched what's his name? Malcolm McDowell, right? I just saw him last night because I was watching Book of Eli.
Oh yeah, that's a dandy, isn't it?
He's in there. He's at the end. And that's a great movie too. I mean, you throw Denzel in at a post-apocalyptic setting, and Denzel makes pretty much any movie. But.
Well, all of a sudden, you've got that badass kind of authority figure persona just handling business. Because I'm not going to say he's typecast, but he is. You know what I mean? So there's that.
He's good, though. He's got the like the old man strength and the dad fear.
He does. He really
right?
does. Like if I just fucked his daughter and he knew about it, I would skip town. I'm just telling you that right now.
Yeah, no, it's pretty mindful to keep zombies out of this. Because
that's a different category, I think.
I figured there's so many zombie films that we could probably hit that and have plenty of content there. So I didn't include any zombie films in my thought process when I was thinking about these films. But one film I did kind of juggle and it was tough for me to consider was the Terminator series. The Terminator is set in a post-apocalyptic world. They go back in time into pre-apocalyptic world, but it is happening
4 times. Yeah. Jeez, they keep jumping back. Yeah,
right. But in the real time that everyone's really working on is actually in the future, right? This whole movie takes place in the future, and they keep sending people back to do these missions. But that's why it is a post-apocalyptic film, even though it's set in Terminator 2 is in like mid-90s LA.
1997 is when the big one hits or something. But it's funny that you mentioned that too, because I'm sitting here going through my mind. We talked about our favorite action stars. If folks remember, it was a very close, almost tie between Sly Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. But I will say this: if you look for who's probably the most popular dystopian post-apocalyptic actor, it may be Arnold Schwarzenegger too. Think about it. You got the Terminator series, you got Running Man, and you got Total Recall.
Oh, Running Man. That's one of the best dystopian films. And
is it not?
We're not that far. I don't think. I really don't. No. I think we're much closer than people give it credit for.
And honestly, that's why I kind of mentioned before, is let's have a little bit more of a lighthearted episode and talk about the type of movies that almost are our reality right now. If you guys weren't stressed out enough, these are a lot of examples of what could happen in the next 5 to 10 years. Jesus Christ. With that being said, I need another drink in my cocktail.
I just want you to know the people that would praise the running game show would also like wish Trump harm.
This is true. This is very true. This is very, very
All right. No, and as far as post-apocalyptic too, which is kind of where I was leaning. 28 days later.
Mm-hmm. Now,
how about this one? Wait, 12 Monkeys.
Ooh, now I don't know if you've seen this one, but there's also one from 1995 called Strange Days with Ralph Fiennes. Have you seen that one?
No, but I saw a different Strange Days from the mid 90s with the thing that you put in your head and you like experience people's recordings.
That's the same one. That's one and the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Lewis is in it.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
Yeah,
it's
like this, futuristic way of being able to be like almost like a voyeuristic experience other people's kind of just experiences in general and feel them and stuff. And he witnesses like a murder on one, and then like people are trying to find. It's a dandy of a movie. And what's really great is it's the last days coming up to the ball dropping for 1999 being futuristic too, but only looking in the very near future. No, there's some great ones that are kind of lost. I don't think a lot of people know about Strange Days, but it's funny because we were growing up at that time, kind of like teenagers. So it was something that was hitting the scene right when we were big sponges, so to speak. But now let me ask you this then. Let's get right to it here. What is your number one, baby? What's your number one? If you say, hey, you have never seen a dystopian or post-apocalyptic movie, you got to check out this one. What does Bob say?
I mean, maybe it's my age, maybe it's how impressionable I was, but the Mad Max series to me, that's post-apocalyptic. That's what it is. It's marauders, it's anarchy, it's everyone for himself, it's lawlessness, it's everything that you envision of the worst. That's Mad Max.
100%. Yeah, like gasoline, which is the lifeblood of how we operate. It just is, you know what I mean? Fossil fuels that keeps the whole world turning. What would happen if that was super scarce and people had to fight over it, right? And honestly, that's like really what happens in that world, right? Everything kind of flips over because the way we produce energy is now the most rare commodity, like diamonds or something like that. That's a damn good one. That's one of my top. If believe it or not, dude. I'm gonna have to say if people want to get into this and they've never got into it before, I'm gonna say watch Blade Runner.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Or I'm going to go completely to the side here and talk about another star that we just talked about when we talk about action stars. It's like, hey, man, if you want to get a roundabout of everything about this, go watch Demolition Man. Yeah. That's another one for me.
Yeah, and that's also, I would even say, post-apocalyptic because that's society after rebuilt, right? So it's post-apocalyptic and dystopian, right? So...
which a lot of times kind of happens together, we've noticed, right? It's after the apocalyptic type event happens, it's very, very, if not difficult, almost impossible to go back to the way life it was pre that event. So I think that's a great example right there too. I'll say this too. Again, how are these action stars, Judge Dredd and Dredd in general, right? They did a remake of that movie. That one is really good where now this dystopian society has decided to group police officers, judges, and lawyers into one entity, right? The judges.
I want to use that app Reface and put William Barr in Judge Dredd.
Oh.
I'm the law. Right? It's all William Barr.
I am.
It's just me. I don't know. I just every time I see him strong arming people, I just think William Barr's like the political version of Judge Dredd.
This is very true. Another dandy out there too. I just got to mention it because I'm kind of going through my Rolodex right now of movies. Is the RoboCop series.
Yeah,
it's another really good one, man. So there's a lot out there, but I think you made a really good point here that the Matrix has to be a top 5, for anybody.
If not top 3.
Yeah, right? Getting into this though. If you like other movies, but I agree with you. Mad Max is definitely going to be a top of the list. I think Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 are definitely going to be way up there. And then honestly, there's a slew of Stallone and Arnold movies that are in my top 10 too. It's hard not to include like Total Recall, Running Man, Terminator series. Geez, he even did one. I think Arnold, one of his last movies before he became governor, was another dystopian type movie where, do you remember like kids, the new big toy was like these dolls that actually had like AI, like intelligence or something like that. And I don't know. It's very interesting. I can't even remember the name of that one, but he's done a lot. He must really like the genre. Good for him. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, and he fits well in it. I mean, he just always really has. So it's typecast. Once you become that, I mean, it raises the level of the movie and the type of movie that it is when you get one of these stars in there that's used to it. Bruce Willis would be another one that's kind of gone that direction. If you remember Bruce Willis in
Fifth Element too. Fifth Element's phenomenal too, though.
Not just Fifth Element, but there's the
he's
one where
he's in 12 Monkeys as well, right?
He is in 12 Monkeys, and he's also in the one with the androids, right? And I forget the name. But anyway, I'm not going to look it up on the show. But there's one that he's in there with the androids that work for you, whatever. Kind of similar theme to iRobot, which is another dystopian film, bringing Will Smith into that. So I don't know. This is one of my favorite genres, though, is dystopian
really is.
and post-apocalyptic. I'm really into sci-fi, and both of those fall under sci-fi. So
I agree.
This is a good one to do research on. In fact, I was watching Book of Eli last night. Forgot that Mila Kunis was in that, by the way.
She's a dandy. Well, and I'll tell you this too. I have to mention it because I know there's going to be somebody out there that's screaming right now at us if we don't mention 1984. Probably one of the marquee literature pieces about dystopian society. However, I've tried to watch the movie from 1984 twice, and I fell asleep last night trying to watch it, and I didn't complete it the first time we tried to watch it because it's a little bit dry. It's a great.
Also, I would say that George Orwell is probably the grandfather of dystopian literature. Dystopian, 100%. The idea of a dystopia.
Well, he did Animal Farm too, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. But no, good point there. And just to recap here, and I do agree with you about it being the twilight of dystopian movies. I do think Hunger Games does grab the very bottom. I just wanted to mix it up a little bit and not say the exact same thing. I think the idea of The Purge is a phenomenal, and the movie was a little bit of a letdown, meaning the first one. But definitely, I will agree that number one on the very bottom of this is going to be Hunger Games for me. Speaking of which, having like hotter chick in a multiple part like dystopian movie, I think the Divergent series is much better of a story in a movie than the Hunger Games,
and it's a better idea.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games is basically a twist on the lottery.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
If you ever read that story,
or similar to like Running Man almost, you know what I mean? Except they're just not prisoners that are going. So, but yeah, that's going to be on the bottom, and I think top you got Mad Max, you got Blade Runner. I would put Clockwork Orange up there too. And then I think Matrix has to, like I said, has to be in the dialogue as well. Fantastic movies. So kids, if you haven't seen some of those, you got some movie watching to do. Get out there. Take a break. Take a break from the horrible political climate and the natural disasters that are happening around the world and have a couple of movie days inside.
And by the way, our friend of the show, Keanu, is
great friend of the show,
is filming Matrix 4 right now.
Hey, pack him in before he gets much older. You know what I mean? So he's got some more John Wicks he needs to do. He's packing in another Matrix, maybe make a Point Break Part 3. I don't know what's going on, but
I mean, he's in his mid-50s and he's at the top of his game. It's fantastic.
It is. So, well, the most atrocious, pathetic political debate in history went down this week. The president and first lady have now caught the disease that has put our world to a complete standstill and made 2020 the most interesting year to date for anybody alive or in recent history. We've recapped the best dystopian movies, and
we had a couple of foo bars.
We did, and we had a couple of foo bars. So mission accomplished, Bob. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty much out of things.
No, I'm gonna go eat some, keto snacks and watch the Cowboys get a lead and then blow it and then lose it in the end.
I will join you for that, my friend. I will join you. High hopes and then a letdown, but that's the way things go, guys. Well, hey, thanks for joining us this week, everybody, guys. Really appreciate the people that continue to listen And we had a good time. Hopefully you guys did too. Same rhetoric always, guys. If you can, please support this show. Help us get this momentum. Keep moving forward here. Like and subscribe. Write us a review. Keep listening to us regardless. We love you all. Bobby, it's always a pleasure to see you and to chat with you, even though we do it throughout the week. But until next time, guys, we'll talk to you soon.
See ya. This is Stiff Truth.